Hey, welcome back to 3 and 2 Count Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Blaine Arsenal. This is our third interview in our coaches interview series. And joining me today is Mr. Under the Lights himself, Jordan Taylor. What's going on, Jordan?
Blaine, pleasure to be back, my friend. Excited to talk a little baseball. First time, actually, me and Dane Clark going to talk a little baseball together. I'm very excited for it. He's got his team in the playoffs, second round at home. Big time baseball game tomorrow night, and I can't wait to see what happens. I know he's got the guys ready to go, so ready to chop it up with him, talk a little baseball. Here we go.
Yes, sir. And Vinton High head baseball coach, Mr. Dane Clark. What's going on, Coach?
Howdy, fellas. Appreciate you guys having me on. Excited to, talk a little baseball and see where it goes tonight.
Man, before we get this started, man, is it true that you played for the Savannah Bananas, and how was it?
Yeah, man. It's actually a funny story. So in 2020, I graduated, COVID hit, so my senior season was canceled. So I transferred to Harris Stowe State University in St. Louis. Well, some of my classes got messed up. My paperwork got messed up, so I was ruled ineligible. So my buddy from New Orleans that I trained with in the Christmas time every year, he calls me, hey, we're having this new team. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come to Georgia. I said, Georgia? And so me and my buddy, and it was when that big ice storm hit. So we drove through the ice storm all the way to Georgia. Go to the tryout, man. They signed me. They signed my buddy, man, and I tell people this every time. It's the funnest baseball I've ever been a part of. Like, the fans are amazing. It's still some of the best memories I've ever had. Like, my daughter was the first banana baby from a Bananas player.
Come on.
So it was the dream of a lifetime, man. Like, people looked at you like you were Derek Jeter. They didn't care if you played at an NAIA. They didn't care if you played at D1. To those kids, like, I met a kid this weekend at a travel ball tournament. He was like, hey, you play for the Bananas. And I was like, hey, how do you remember that? Like, and it's like people still think that's the coolest thing ever, man.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. You touched on it a little bit, but tell us about your background besides, that coaching, playing, all that good stuff.
Man, so I grew up in Oberlin, small town, 1A school, man. Playing from 7th grade, all till I graduated. We were really solid. The only thing, we had 5 coaches in 7 years, but we were always competitive. We were always really good. Graduated from Oberlin, went and played at a small NAIA called Ecclesia College. I was National Hitter of the Week one time, but went to the World Series, National Christian College World Series 2 times. Probably would have made it our senior year. We were pretty solid then, but COVID hit, transferred to Harris Stowe, and then went and played with the Bananas, played a little bit of indie ball, and then, started my career at East Beauregard in 2021, and then got the job in Vinton in 22 and been here ever since, man.
So Vinton is your first head coaching stop?
Yeah, I would say so. When I was at East Beauregard, I was technically the assistant, but my dad was the head coach, and I was kind of doing everything under him. They just named him the head coach, and I was kind of learning the roles and things like that. He kind of took me under his wing and let me kind of soar with it. But it really helped me a lot, taught me a lot of stuff I didn't know as a 22-year-old kid,
Yep. So, tell me about your coaching staff.
Man, so I got Garen Dugas. He's been here since I got here. He was here probably 4 or 5 years before I got here. Amazing guy, outfield. He does our outfield and our hitting. Just all around great guy. Like, I named my little boy after him. So my little boy's named after him. And then this year we actually got Jacob Underhill he was at Sulphur when Jake Brown and all them guys were there. And then he went to Bridge City, and then he came to Vinton, man, and he coached girls basketball. And I was like, look, man, I help you with girls basketball if you come do baseball. And he's like, man, I'm a baseball guy. I'm in, and man, he does our pitching. man, he's been unbelievable. He's been a game changer for us on that side, having 3 coaches. Because I'll take the catchers, he'll take the infielders. Coach, you guys got the outfielders, man, and we just click. There's really no arguments. It's just, hey, like, we think this is best, or hey, yeah, you're probably right. Like, let's do that. And I know I'm the head guy, but I don't feel like they're an assistant. I feel like we do this together.
Equals.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, it's a family thing. Like, it's not a, hey, one guy does it all kind of thing.
Awesome. So in 23, we matched up against each other, and I'm kind of in the same boat with you. At Northwest, I was assistant coach, but I was mostly like the head guy, so to speak, like you said. And then so I understand that from that aspect. Like, you're in there trying to come and help, and you kind of got pushed into that head job. And then I got to Nish. Then I learned, like, I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
And then I got to see big boy baseball in 5A and stuff like that. And then it helped me when I got to my move that 1 year I was there. And I understand where you're coming from with that one.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, my first year here, man, it was rough for me. Like, we were okay, but we just played really hard. Like, I got a quarterback who hadn't played since he was 12 to come play the outfield. Because I only had, because it was the first year as a head coach, and I was trying to be hard and trying to change that culture, and I was like, look, if you're not going to work out, you're not going to do this the right way, like, you're just going to go. So, like, man, we only had like 14 kids my first year. I mean, if you remember that picture, like, we got like 4 or 5 guys on the side, and y'all had the whole foul line. I cut a lot of the bad nucleuses, and just tried to start from day one and just try to, like, not just building a culture, but building myself as well.
Yeah. Well, it didn't matter how many people it was. I was your first win, so.
Yeah, you were. My move was my first win. And it was a good game though. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was like 8-5 or something like
something
that.
Like that. Yeah.
I think we hit a double in the 6th inning to take the quarterback who hadn't played since he was 12 hits a double, and I was like, did he just get a hit?
Yeah, because that's right. I didn't want to bring it up, but you was out the game at that time.
I got it. You remember I got ejected for saying yes, sir.
Yeah, you did.
He's like, not another word. I was like, yes, sir. He's like, not another word. I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, you're gone. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, I remember
what did I do?
Jordy.
Dane, first off, thank you for taking time this evening. Busy week, I'm sure it's been for you guys getting ready, and it's been a long layoff. But I want to go back before we talk about this playoff series. I want to talk about the school and the athletics program that seems like it's continuing to be on the rise, from the girls' sports to the boys' sports. Walk me through this year and since the year you got there, about have you seen a trend of the excitement is back at Vinton High?
Man, it starts with our principal, Coach Heinen. Man, he's the best. I mean, he's a sports guy, but he's also a very high academic and high character person, and the kids love him. So it starts with him. But man, we got some really, really good coaches that not just care about the kids. I mean, not just care about the sport, but care about the kids. And the kids see that and they feed off of that, and they love us. So when a kid loves you, they're gonna go to war for you. And Blaine will tell you, he's seen it. These kids, they play hard, man.
Yeah.
And when all the coaches are coaching everything, and even if they're not coaching, they're at the games. They like our Coach Coppels and Coach Dugas, our softball coach and our assistant boys football and baseball coach. They do the scoreboard for the home games, man. So it's a culture thing. Like our head football coach says, Tyler Laverne, great guy. He talks about success is a habit. We had a successful football year. First time we've won 6 games in a long time. And then basketball, losing the state championship. I think we have a really good shot of getting to Sulphur. It's a hard road ahead, don't get me wrong, but I think we have a shot. So it's just a lot of success that, it's just a habit. And it started my first year when I got here. So our softball team hadn't won a playoff game ever. And then
Wow, I didn't know that.
dang, ever in was it 21? I think it was 22. They had never won a playoff game. They made it all the way to the semifinals.
Yep.
And when our kids saw that, they saw like, hey, they're not the only ones that can do this. And then you start manifesting, you start talking about it, and you start doing the little things, and the kids start working harder, and they're doing all the little things in the summertime. And that's the biggest part too, I'll say, is our summer workouts. It's not just boys. Like, bro, there's 40 girls here too. Like, and we're getting after it. Like, it's not just, hey, we're going to, no, we're getting after it. Like, we're getting better, and I guess that's the best part about these kids, man, is they work hard, they play hard, and man, they're good kids. There's no bad kids here. Like, if they're a part of your program, they're probably a good kid.
Dane, you got a group of guys that you hit it on the nail. They play extremely hard and they'll run through a wall for you. I got to know about this group here, if they had any guys on the basketball team that made a run for the state title this year. How late was y'all's start? Because I know you were front and center whenever those guys were going for it in the Burton Coliseum. So talk to me about how late was the start? Were you waiting for some guys? I mean, all that, because that's a special moment in time for the school, and I'm sure it was something that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Man, I'll say this. I was extremely lucky. I only had one guy, Caleb Jensen.
One guy.
So Caleb was actually a game changer for us because beginning of the year, we have a senior, Connor Cormier, pretty good little catcher. But our biggest thing was finding somebody to play shortstop when Guidry pitched.
Okay.
Because Guidry's our shortstop. I mean, he's 88 to 90 on the bump. He does the deal. So what we did once Caleb didn't play a whole lot on the basketball team. So I kind of had that talk with Coach Kelly, like, hey, Coach, like, I need him. He's going to start for me, and Coach Kelly was like, look, Coach, he's like, you can have him when we're not playing. So I did everything in my power to make sure we weren't playing when they were playing. And I actually had to cancel, 2 district games because of the semifinals and the playoff game. I mean, the state championship game, which doesn't bother me. But Caleb has been our catcher, and Cormier has played a lot of shortstop for us. And we've kind of just left Caleb behind the plate because it makes our defense better, because Cormier will play third when Guidry's not pitching. Cormier kind of just fills in anywhere. He's that kind of kid that's a bulldog, like, he don't care where you put him. He's going to give you 110%. And we call him Crash Out Cormier because he was a fullback on the veer offense at 5'6". Like, he's going to come right at you. It don't matter what you're playing, and he's going to run through you.
Got one more for you before I switch it back over to Blaine. I want to take it back to a year ago from now. What did you learn? What did the team learn? What did your staff learn in that second round matchup from Montgomery that you've taken into this week, that you may be taking some different steps, or maybe you've had a different focus? What did you learn from that Montgomery game as you go into this big Logan Sports second round matchup?
Man, it was my biggest thing coming into this year, and me and Coach Dugas kind of talked about it, was being able to play on the road. That was the biggest thing, because we had played a lot of home games my first and second year, because it's kind of hard to get bus drivers. But going into this year, man, we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 away games this year. 16 away games and 11 home games, because we said we got to win on the road. We've got to learn how to get on the bus, be mentally tough, and get on the road and go win a baseball game. And man, we went and played a doubleheader with Zachary, went and played a doubleheader with Natchitoches Central at Louisiana College. So we went to Kinder, We went to Jennings and played. So we were trying to make it at least an hour to where these kids had to get on a bus, be mentally focused and locked in, and go win a baseball game. And early in the year, man, like we beat Jennings, we beat Glenmore, and I was like, man, maybe we're taking that step, early. And that was the biggest thing, was their focus part of it. And nobody had really taught them how to focus and lock in. And then I'd say the second biggest thing was the weight room. 6 a.m. If you're not a football guy, you're in there. We were in the weight room, man, and I'll tell you, Guidry put on 30 pounds, and the other kids probably put on 5 to 10 pounds. And we hit it hard. And when I say we, like I was lifting with them, like we were getting after it, and then they were lifting. Like I had 9 baseball only kids, so they were 3 days a week, like doing stuff on their own while I'm coaching football, man. Like I'm looking over at the baseball field, and I hear gloves and I hear bats, and and it was the biggest thing was remember what that loss felt like. Because the reason why the biggest fault to Montgomery was we were missing our best hitter. Our senior utility guy went into the hospital the day before because he has a blood disorder.
Wow.
So he went into the hospital the night before and couldn't play the playoff game. So I had to start a freshman in the outfield, and we ended up making an error or two that costed us a bunch of runs. But also Guidry didn't pitch well that day either, just because we didn't know how to get on the bus and go win a baseball game.
Take it back a little bit, Coach. Who's your inspiration that got you into coaching?
Man, David Welding and Jacob Corville. So David Weldon is who I call my dad. Okay. So when I was 15, he moved into Oberlin. He became our head baseball coach. And man, I'm me, Blaine. I'm still kind of a hothead at times. I'm 26 and I'm still kind of a hothead. I was bad.
Like Brandon said the other day, you're definitely higher energy for sure.
I'm a high energy guy, man. I'm a high energy guy. So when I was a kid, man, it was worse. And he was the only person that I loved and I trusted because I knew that he loved me. And that was the same thing with Coach Corville. He came in with Coach Weldon, man, my junior year, and they showed me a lot of love and a lot of care that I didn't feel like I received a lot of, and there's a couple other coaches like Coach Ronald Simmons that's at East Beauregard. He was my PE teacher from when I was second grade till I graduated high school. And he was a big part of it. So those 3, man, I would say are probably the biggest inspiration to me, just because they took the time to not only care about me as an athlete, but me as a person. And they helped mold me into a decent human being. Because my father wasn't really in my life. I had a good stepdad and a great mother. So it was really those 3 that, man, I would say really chips the head for me. Like I still talk to David Weldon probably every other day, once a week. And like Jacob Corville, when anytime I need something from him, man, it's a phone call. And the best part about my first year ever coaching at East Beauregard, Ronald Simmons was the head football coach. David Welding was technically the head baseball coach, and I was his assistant. So, man, I got to learn from my mentors once again, and just every day go to work with them and love those guys again and see them love other kids again. Like I made relationships from when I was at East Beauregard that I still talk to kids at East Beauregard, and they'll say the same thing. Like Coach Clark loved us. He was hard on us. I mean, I'm always going to be hard on my players, but they know I love them just like Weldon, Corville and Simmons loved me.
Yeah, you got a comment right here. Harley Warner, Coach Dane Clark has changed the culture at Vinton.
So his son was actually my shortstop my first year when I was at Vinton. Heck of a player, hit 450. And his name was Hadley Warner. Man, he was that dog. He was like a silent killer, like he would show a little bit of emotion, but man, he was just a player. Like he was a lot like me, like undersized kind of kid, but could just play, man. Played really good shortstop. could hit the cover off the ball and was a great leader. And that was a talk I had with him going into my first year. He had kind of dealt with a back injury. And, I had a talk with him when we figured out he was going to be back. And I'm like, look, Hadley, like, this is your team, dog. Like, you gotta be the leader, because Guidry was a freshman at the time. So we had Guidry and Warner. So we had a very good 1 and 2. But after that, it was like, who wants to pitch, but those two worked well together. And, man, I felt, I wish I could have had Warner for one more year, because if I would have had him last year, man, we look out. That's what I would say, look out last year. That was the biggest thing last year, is we just didn't have a whole lot of pitching.
Awesome. I had asked Coach Tyler Stevens yesterday about this. Freshmen coming into your program that had played travel ball. How is their travel ball? How do you handle their travel ball mentality coming into your program?
I think people know me, so I think they understand, like, Coach don't care who you played for. Like, I don't care who you played travel ball for. I don't care who you played rec ball for. You're going to do it the way we do it, or you're just not going to play, and that, I guess that what you would say about Vinton is there's a couple kids that'll play travel ball here, but it's a small town. There's not a whole lot of kids that play travel. They can't afford it. But the ones that do, they kind of understand, like, hey, Coach wants best for us. Like, if I want to go play at the next level, he knows what it takes, because he's been there, and he's going to push us to get there. But, like, man, I coach travel ball. I've coached travel ball for 3 or 4 years now. And look, right now I coach a 13U team. I coach them the same way I coach my high school kids, because my thing is, you can't coach them any different, because when they 2 years or 1 year, they're going to get – you want it to be a culture shock, or you want it to be the same for them and then be used to it. And that's the best part, is, like, I've done 14U the last 2 years. And these kids that I've coached in 14U, man, they're starting as freshmen. Like, there's a kid in Texas that he was driving from Jasper, Texas to Vinton to practice twice a week, an hour and a half, just to play for me, because he knew I would get him ready. And now he's hitting almost 400 in Texas.
Wow. Jordan?
Coach, I got to talk about this upcoming series. Big game tomorrow. Big layoff in the first round. Those first round buys. I want to talk about this Logan Sport Tiger baseball team that will come down. What have you seen from them? What do they present to the table? Well coached team, always in sulfur. A scrappy bunch, not your typical 11 seed, Coach.
No, absolutely not. So we actually played them in our tournament this year. And we made a couple errors early, and they put up some runs on us really quick, and we were lucky enough to fight back, and we won the game 10-7. But, man, we had to fight and scrap, and we threw our number 2 at him, Cortland Kyle, sophomore, about 78-81, and he did a very good job. We just made some errors. But, man, they don't quit, and Coach Martin, he does a good job, man. They're going to come right at you. They're not afraid of you. Like you said, they've been the sulfur. They know how to get there. So they're not afraid of you or us. And that's what I've been preaching to our guys. Like, they're not afraid of you. They don't care that you're Gage Guidry. They don't care if you're Vinton. They don't care who you are. They're coming after you.
Coach, what to expect tomorrow? All the details for the people that are watching right now, game time, anything in particular that you would like everyone to know about?
5 p.m. Vinton High School. They're gonna get Gage Guidry. Man, if you ain't been able to watch him pitch, man, he's fun to watch. Come out, watch these guys, because, man, it's gonna be a dogfight for 7 innings. I don't predict the run rule. I think it's gonna be 7 innings of hard nose. You play some small, like we play a lot of small ball. So, man, and that's the best part, man, is you're gonna get to see good baseball.
Coach, you speak about Gage Guidry on the mound, but he also smashed a new record this year in hits for the program. Speak to me about his approach over the last couple of years as you watched him grow in this program, because he smashed the record this year and it's only going to grow.
Man, he's just a great kid. Like I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So his first year, his freshman year, we were in the fall. We were just taking ground balls one day, working some fundamental stuff. And he never smiled. I'd never seen him smile on a baseball field. He didn't really talk. So I walk up to him. I said, Gage, do you like baseball? Love baseball, coach. And I'm like, why do you never smile out here? He's like, it's just focus. It's just focus. And I'm like, all right. And man, since then, man, we've worked. He's always had a beautiful swing. He's played travel ball his whole life, but he's always been blessed. So from what everybody tells me, he's always naturally thrown hard. And his freshman year, he was 80, 81, 79, 81. And then sophomore year, he was about 83, 85. Couldn't really get over the hump in the summertime for some reason. And then I started doing a lot of research about high intensity throwing and got him up there. But like hitting wise, man, he's just always been able to hit. And he's a better right center field hitter than he is pulling the baseball. I just think he feels more comfortable going the other way than he does pulling the baseball. But that's what, and he always shows up in big games. Like we'll play, the lower level teams and he'll have a hit or two, but when we're in big games, most of the time he's coming through. Like when we played DeQuincy, Coach Carlson and them over here, we had a runner on second, no outs. He intentionally walked Gage Guidry. Like he's not the guy you want to face. You know what I'm saying? He's a great kid, and he's worked, man. He's worked countlessly. Like he plays on my national team in the summertime, and he hits 400. He hits 380. Like he just hits, man. He's just one of those guys. Like he puts in the work, and he hits. And I don't know who said it, but the guys that hit the most in games, and that's him. Like he puts in the most work and he gets the most out of it. But the biggest thing I would say for him this year, Jordan, is in the fall he came in at, I want to say 140, 145 pounds. He's at 175 right now. This dude's legs look like a tree trunk. Like he's squatting 405. Like we had a talk and I said, look, do you want to play college baseball? Like, because I don't want to push you if that's not what you want to do. And he said, no, coach, that's what I want to do. I want to go to McNeese. I want to play baseball. I said, okay. So me and him, we were lifting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but me and him were lifting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So he was going 4 days a week, just me and him. And man, it's shown. The velo's up, the exit velo's up. Man, he hit one against DeQuincy that if our field isn't 400 to dead center, it's gone at any park in the state because he hit it about 390.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, like he hit it dead center, and everybody was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, you do it. You do have a big yard.
330 down the line, player.
Coach, we want everybody in the bleachers tomorrow to come watch this game. We want everyone to come watch Gage Guidry pitch the Battle of the Tigers, winner to the quarterfinals. And if they so happen to not be able to make it to the game, Coach, there is an outlet that is coming. Chaston does a tremendous job. Southwest Louisiana Game of the Week, and I can't wait to watch it live on this platform.
Looking forward to it, man. Yeah, Chaston, he did our DeQuincy game, man. He just does a great job. Like, he has one of those voices, like, it's just, like, you want to watch, But, yeah, you can definitely tune in to Facebook, watch the game. He does a tremendous job. I actually called him today. I said, look, man, you want to do our starting lineups for us? Like, he's like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, he's just that kind of guy.
I call Chaston the voice of high school football.
He does a good job, man. I like Chaston a lot.
Yeah, I see Devin commented Vinton High's pitcher's park. Yeah, it is. It's a deep park for sure.
I seen him comment that Guidry is actually a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, curveball, splitter, changeup.
Okay.
So he added the splitter, and it's actually, well, I guess I don't know what you call him, but he has a splitter and a changeup, and the changeup has really taken him to a new height this year. We've tried to develop the slider, but it's just he can't figure the slider out. We can't figure it out. He's he's a pronator, not a supinator. So we kind of gave up on it and just didn't want to hurt his arm. So we just kind of ride with that curveball, and that curveball is nasty.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, talk to me about your coaching philosophy. How you do things over there at Vinton.
Man, if you wanna be good, you gotta be good at what you do. So what we do is we work a lot on the little details. We do everyday drills, the push throughs, ladder drills, little things like that. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff in the little details in small school baseball that people forget about. Like you talked about big boy baseball. Like you guys aren't coaching them kids on IQ and footwork and stuff like that. You're just tweaking and tweaking like us. Like I got to get these kids as ninth graders and teach them footwork and teach them ladder drills and teach them how to hit off like stuff off a tee. So we do a lot of the little stuff that I think helps us elevate to that. And we played a lot of summer ball this past summer as a team that really took our game to another level. So I definitely think like people talk about you don't have to play a lot, blah blah blah. Like baseball, you do. Like you've got to play as many games as you can from about February to June, maybe July, to get those kids that experience. Because like I said, these kids just play rec ball here, man. There's not a whole lot of them that play travel ball. So I've tried my best to play as many games as possible and as many games as our pitching will allow. So like we as a team, we played 2D tournaments this summer. And man, I'm telling you, it's the reason why we're continuing to grow and very fast. Like we were 14-14 my first year. Last year we were 14-13, and this year we're 16-11. But I'm telling you, if you look at that schedule, it's not an easy schedule my first or my second year. Like we played 8 of our 13 losses last year were teams in the semis or championship. Like I don't believe in playing, teams that aren't going to help you. Like you got to play high level talent and high level competition if you want to get to that level. And I think like I'm looking at our schedule right now. Like we went and played Zachary, man. I'm telling you, we were no hitting Zachary through 5. Like that's the thing. Like we've played with teams. Like we went like we beat Church Point. Church Point's a very solid squad. I think they won like 20 games, man. We should have beat Rose Pine, gave some runs away late. We ended up taking one from DeQuincy, who's really, really good. So it's just all about playing that kind of talent so you can see it and become that talent, and that's what I tell these kids is you got to plant the seed and you got to water it for 4 years. It's not what you do today or next week. It's about what you do year round to see what that tree is going to look like.
I got you. You kind of like touched on it a little bit. I think I know your answer on this. And I asked this question to the last 2 guys in the couple interviews. What is your take on the LHSAA system? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What is it?
Man, I like the divisions. I do. I think it's a little bit more, you're playing with your level of talent. Now, I do wish that when we get to the quarters, it would be a 3-game series. Because when you get to the quarters in our level, everybody's got one guy. But let's see who's the better team with 3 guys when you get to the quarters, and, maybe the semis too, but the champion, like, I just, there's a lot of teams out there that they have 1 or 2 guys, that like we're fortunate enough to where, dude, my pitching staff has no seniors. Guidry's my only junior. And then I got 4 or 5 sophomores that can throw strikes, So, I would love to see, anybody in a 3-game series. Because I think we have the arms to compete in a 3-game series. Now, not everybody does, but I like it, man. I don't, I'm not a big complain on what I got kind of guy. I just kind of run with it. But, my thing is you got to be the best that day. When you play these, like tomorrow, we have to be the better team or we're going home. So, and that's the downfall of a one game. But like I said, when I got a guy like Guidry, one game, that's all it takes. So that's what we're like. That's why I think we have a chance to get this offer. It's because we have a guy like Guidry. But I'm telling you, Cortland Kyle, Tim Hooper, Uriah Patin, those guys on the back end. If we somehow get to that championship, I'm not afraid to go see an Oak Grove or a Mangum with those guys because Cortland Kyle no hit Zachary through 5. Like he's a dog. Like he will compete. He don't care who you are. He's coming right at you. And we play some solid, especially on turf. We play some solid defense.
Mhm.
So I think that's how I look at it. Is like I would love a 3-game series, but we're in Division 4, and I'm not going to complain about it because it is what it is.
I got you. What do you? I seen someone was talking about the regional and super regional formats for playoffs. What do you think about that?
Man, I think that would be very interesting. I just don't know how they would do it. For smaller schools, like I could see it with the bigger schools, um, like Texas. I think Texas does something like that, but Texas is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely I wouldn't hate to see how they would do it. To be honest with you, now I would tell you I'd hate to see the regional for Southwest Louisiana because, bruh, the small schools it's tough. You look at y'all talked about the bottom of our bracket. It's Grand Lake, it's Welsh, it's DeQuincy, it's us. Man, it's tough. And even Maryville, Lake Arthur, they're solid teams, man. Like Oberlin wasn't a bad team. So there's a lot of, smaller schools in this region that if you did something like that, like it would be very interesting. So I would like to see it. I mean, it's very intriguing to me, honestly.
Jordan.
Coach, I want you to reflect on this senior class. Tell everyone listening right now what they mean to you.
Man, I tell you, so none of these kids actually were here my first year. Like they didn't play baseball. So Connor Cormier had actually moved to Sulphur. Cameron Reeves had moved to Colorado. Jerickson Gonzalez had never played baseball before I got here, before I asked him to play last year. And then Shannon Milburn hadn't played since he was a kid until I asked him last year. So Jerickson Gonzalez was our quarterback, and I asked him to play last year. He ended up being a second-team All-District outfielder, hitting 300. Had never played baseball before. Shannon, he's just a great kid. He comes out and he hits, and he's our DH. All he does is hit. But he's just a great kid. And Cameron Reeves came back his junior year, played last year, was actually our starting outfielder, and we were playing Welsh, and we had a collision, and he snapped his ankle. Yeah, it was rough. So he's kind of been like a PO courtesy runner this year. Played a little bit of outfield for us. And then Connor Cormier, man, he came back his junior year, and he's been our guy. He's been our leader. Like he's the kind of guy that he's the energy guy. He's a mini me. Like he's our energy guy. He keeps everybody in line. Like, and these guys, we had a talk 2 years ago, and I told them like we have the ability to do something special, but it's gonna take all of us. It's not just a me thing. It's not just a you thing. It's not a Gage thing. It's a 20 guys buying in kind of thing. And, we kind of weeded out some of the bad eggs, and those 4 have taken the reins. Like they've taken the reins and they've bought into what it means to be a Vinton Lion baseball player. And not just us, man. Like Connor Cormier coaches the 10U rec team that his brother plays on. It's wanting to build a success for the town and the community. It's not just about him or himself. It's about all of us. And Connor holds a special place in my heart because man, like he's just a great kid, and like we're just very close because he's told me a lot of personal stuff, and we can relate to a lot of stuff like that. And it's the same with Jerickson. Like people will say Jerickson's a hothead a lot of the times, but I'm the one guy that can calm him down. Like I can get to him and be like, "Hey, chill out. And he'll be like,
It's like it takes one hot head to another, huh?
yeah, it does. It does. You know what it takes. And like, man, Cameron Reeves and Shannon Milburn, they've been those role guys for us, and just those silent leaders, like, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they're going to tell you if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and that's the best thing about these four, man, is they've worked hard every single day since they've been here, and they'll tell you, man, like they love what we do, and they're going to leave a legacy beyond just this year. Is what I need to talk about, is like, because man, like next year, it's, you think about, next year and the year after that, but it's like these guys learn from them, so they're just continuing that culture, and passing on what these guys taught them, and that's what you hope for. And I'm really honored and blessed that God blessed me with these great kids to build this culture this fast. Most of the time, turning a culture around is a 5-year plan. It's not a
Yeah.
2-year or a 3-year plan, But man, we've done it in 3 years. I feel like, to where we've got 20 great kids that come out and they compete every day at practice, and they compete in the weight room, and they compete in the classrooms, and like they do what they're supposed to do. You got the little freshmen and they learn, but they hop on board and they understand, like, hey, I better not do anything stupid, because it's not coach that's going to get me, it's my teammates that are going to get me. So that's what I try to do, is I try to make the guys lead the other guys. Like, if I got to step in, yeah, I'll step in, but most of the time I'd rather our seniors say, hey, look, you're not going to do that, or you can go run, you forgot your practice shirt, like, get on the fence line, like, what's expected and you didn't do it.
Coach, you guys played at UL. You guys played over there in Zachary this year. Talk to me about this group here. Do you feel like this is the closest group you've ever coached? Or you feel like this is the most fun you've ever had coaching?
Man, it's definitely, well, no, like, it's definitely been fun, and they are very close. But man, I tell you what, I coached a 16U national team last summer. Man, and we had 5 guys from Welsh. We had a couple guys we had one guy from Lacassine, one from Fairview. Just a couple kids from all around Southwest Louisiana, man, and we were like,
Was that the team with Cody Bro?
no, this was the team we played you. We played you in Westlake.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That team was loaded, man.
Yeah, they were.
27-6 on the summer. Like, I've never seen a team just click. Our first game of the summer, we played a team at UL, scored 29 runs in 4 innings. Like, bruh, just unbelievable. Like, could pitch it, play it. And just, that was probably the most fun I've ever had. But, like, for high school, like a high school team, absolutely. Like, these are the closest, like, they love each other. They care about each other. And, we have fun. We have a lot of fun, man. Like, on bus rides, like, we celebrate every win. Like, we go together, we do a boom. Like, you gotta enjoy those little things, because I'm a big believer in, people talk about, oh, act like you've been there before, but it's like, you only get these memories once. Now, I'm not saying act a donkey and do all the hooping and hollering every time, but celebrate it a little bit, and then, you move on. But
Yeah.
you got to enjoy the little things, because these kids, man, some of these kids, this is the best memories they're ever going to have, and it's unfortunate to say, but, you never know what's going to happen. So you got to enjoy the little things, and like going to Zachary, man, like these kids got to enjoy that. We went to LSU baseball game. We went to Mr. Gaddy's, man, and you should have seen these kids, man. We walk into the LSU stadium, man, and I'll tell you, I could have cried, because these kids are hooping and hollering, man, and they're, coach, this is awesome. Like, this is sick. Like, I'm like, I know, buddy. We're walking through the Hall of Fame, man, and it was, if we could afford to do it every year, I will, because, man, it was unbelievable, and the kids absolutely enjoyed it. And what was the best thing? That's when our season took off. Like, that's when we started clicking. Is we went to Zachary, we went to LSU. You had that team bonding. They got this, because some of these kids never played travel ball, so they've never been in a hotel, and got to stay with their friends and do all that. So, man, I'm telling you, we played 2 tough games against Zachary, played well. Then we come back home. Look, we went Friday, Saturday in Zachary. Off Sunday, woke up on Monday, went to school, and then went and played Church Point at UL and beat UL and beat Church Point. Like that was the biggest test of our season, and it paid off. Like then we went and beat East Beauregard, and then we beat DeQuincy. Like, and then we played Natchitoches Central, and they were just loaded. Natchitoches Central was they were it didn't matter who we throw, they were hitting the baseball. So we just chalked that up to the PowerPoints.
I got you.
Blaine, I got two last questions for Coach, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Coach Dane, speaking of the boom, I'm going to send a jab at my good buddy Jake real quick. Speaking of the boom, talk to me about that DeQuincy walk-off a few weeks back.
Oh, man. All right. So,
where
Coach
does that rank in your top moments in your coaching career?
I'll show you because I laminated the lineup card. It's in here somewhere. The lineup card is laminated, man. Coach Carlson is great, and I've learned a lot from him. But he's whooped my butt since I've been here at Vinton, and it's a rivalry. Every sport we play, it's a rivalry, and man, they've beaten us every time. My first year, we had to play them 3 times. And they beat us. Reese Ashworth just dominated us, 3 times. And man, then last year it was 2. It was 6-2, 7-5. Very good games, but we could never get over the hump. They're just talented, man. Look, Jake, it's always the umpires. He can't just let us have one, But man, it was Carson Rainwater and Gage Guidry. There was 10 strikeouts for Rainwater, 8 for us. Just 2 great pitchers going at it, man. So, and we hit a couple shots that just fell, and man, they had some unlucky breaks. We had a couple double plays, but man, it was very emotional for me. Not because we beat DeQuincy, but because I seen my kids get over a hump for the first time in my career here. Like, I'll tell you, I cried. Like, our softball coach came onto the field, and he was like, "You finally did it. You beat DeQuincy." And look, he hugged me, and man, I had tears. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm an emotional guy. Blaine knows me. Like, and man, like, I cried because it was just, we finally got over that hump. And it's not a beating a DeQuincy team, but it was just getting over that hump. But man, I'll tell you what, for this community and the baseball culture, it was huge because we hadn't beaten DeQuincy since 2018. And that was in 2018 is the only time Vinton's ever won a district championship. So that was the first time they beat DeQuincy since 2018, and they haven't. And before that, I don't know. It's been rare, like maybe 2 times in like the last 2 or 3 times in the last probably 15 years that we've beat DeQuincy. Look, appreciate it, Jake. But man, they're just a great ball club, and they always will be. Coach Carlson he's just a great coach, and they have a great coaching staff over there. Like CBA Sticks coach Matt Mueller is the assistant coach over there. One of my good buddies, Tate Wooder, great guy, man. So they just do a good job, and it's for the next couple of years. It's going to be dogfights. Like if we get past Logansport, it's us and them, baby. It's going to be a dogfight at DeQuincy.
The rematch everyone's looking forward to.
Man, and I wish we could play it at a neutral site. That's the only thing I would change about our kind of playoffs is because their fans get after me, bro. Because they are right there next to you and they come at me. Like they are chomping at me the whole time. And it sucks because I'm like, bro, leave me alone.
Final question for you, Dane. Give me one person throughout your coaching career who you would say has made the most impact on your life.
Man, my wife. Oh, man. Look, we got 3 kids. My wife has never complained, not one bit. I coach football, basketball, baseball. I do 14U baseball. I do summer ball. Man, and I can't tell you one time she's complained. She may come with me. She may stay home with the kids. But, man, I tell you what, that woman never complains. She is at every game, and she is yelling just like I'm yelling. And she's just right there beside me. And, man, she and she'll tell me, what were they doing? What were they doing on? I'm like, baby, I don't know. I don't know, so I think that's the biggest inspiration for me is, knowing that I can go home and, have the support of my wife and my kids and just know that she's always there for me. Like, bro, it sucks because like sometimes I have to miss my daughter's t-ball game, but she don't give me crap for it. Like, luckily, like Harley Warner is actually my daughter's t-ball coach. Um, so like it's those little things that a normal wife would complain about. But man, look, the Vinton fans will tell you, man, she's great. We love her, man, and she's just been there for me, and I couldn't have picked a better one. And she just, and she knows sometimes that I need, hey, baby, it's gonna be all right. Like you're gonna you're gonna do that. You're gonna do this. It just takes a little bit of time. Or hey, just keep fighting. Like you'll figure it out. Like you know what you're doing. So um, I'm trying not to tear up when I'm talking about it, but man, she just does the deal, and nobody wants to go to sulfur more than her and I. Like she just, she knows that's the ultimate goal. And, she tells me like, I'll follow you anywhere. Like when I was playing indie ball, man, we got in the credit card debt because she was like, go chase your dream. Like she's like, go do it. Like she tells me if you want to do it, go do it. I'll never be that woman to hold you back. So man, I lucky to have her. Like that's the biggest one I would say.
Dane, it's been an honor, my friend, and I wish you the best of luck tomorrow. You guys get after it. Tell my buddy Neil Morton I said hello tomorrow.
Yes, sir, I will. And fun fact for you, Vinton has only made it to the quarterfinals once, and since the program came around in 1986 or 87, something like that, they made it to the quarterfinals in 2001 and haven't been back since. So, man, we're going to try to make some history tomorrow, and we hope to see all the fans out there. And man, hopefully it's a good one.
Take us home, Blaine.
Oh yeah. So Dane, you and I, we relatively young in this profession. Do you have any advice to like younger coaches trying to get in it?
Yeah, my advice is go be an assistant coach somewhere. Like go be an assistant coach as much as possible. If you want to get that little bit of a head coach itch, coach some travel ball, coach some high school summer ball. High school summer ball will teach you a lot about managing pitching, how to go on the road, and manage money and all that stuff, and try to figure out all those little things that you have to in a tournament and things like that. So I would definitely say, man, if you can go be a GA at a college or be an assistant coach at a big school, or even a very good small school, go do it. You don't have to jump into being a head coach right away. I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be able to get a head coaching opportunity relatively young. But if I could change it, I would go be an assistant coach first because, like, there's a lot of stuff I'm still learning, like the field maintenance part of it, the managing pitching part of it, the bus driver part of it, managing
Fundraising.
money. Fundraise, that's easy. I know how to talk. I know how to get money, baby. I know how to talk. No, but yeah, you're right. The fundraising part of it, so that's the biggest things, man. There's about 5 big things I would say is fundraising, pitching, you know, managing a team, figuring out what you want as a culture, and then, just having a great staff around you, and you got to figure out where you want to be. I said for the longest time, I want to keep going up. I want to keep going up, but I don't anymore. I want to be here. Like I want to be at Vinton, and I want to build a baseball program and a culture here. Like me and my wife are trying to buy a house here. Like this is where I want to be, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon because that's what I want to do. I want to build a program.
Awesome. My last question: if you could nominate or get someone on the show, what coach would it be?
Man, I would love to see. I would love to see Zachary's head coach. He was a very intelligent guy when I talked to him. Very nice guy, very open. Gave me a lot of advice, but he was a good guy. But I'd also like I think Coach Tillery from Sulphur would be a good one too. Um, those two, very knowledgeable at the 5A level. Soffer's having a very good year. Didn't start out too hot, but he's finding a way to make some noise in the playoffs. So I would definitely say those two if you get the chance.
Awesome. Well, Dane, I want to say thanks again for coming on tonight. Hey, I learned a lot about you today, and I hope you do well tomorrow at the playoff game.
I appreciate it, fellas. And anytime you guys want to have me, man, you just shoot me a text. I appreciate you guys taking this time to, talk with me and chat with me. I always love talking baseball.
Yeah, make sure y'all check it out tomorrow. Vinton Lions versus Logansport Tigers. A trip to the quarters, right?
Yes, sir.
A trip to the quarters is on the line. Good luck to you, Coach, and see y'all later.
Appreciate it, man.